Do you suffer from migraines? Then the cause might be on your plate. I'll show you 5 foods that could trigger migraines. Many people don't even know number 3. The fact is, millions of people worldwide suffer from migraines. And often people first think of tension in the neck and shoulder area, and that is actually a common trigger. But what many overlook is that diet also plays a big role, because certain foods can increase muscle tension, change vascular tension, and even throw our nervous system out of balance. And if there is already some tension present, this very stimulus can flip the switch for an attack. Now let's take a closer look at the 5 typical triggers. Number 1. Aged cheese, for example, Parmesan, cheddar, or blue cheese. These types contain substances that can affect our blood vessels. And the result is sudden changes in the width of the blood vessels. And these fluctuations are considered possible typical triggers for migraines. 2. Processed meats like salami, ham, or bacon. They contain nitrites and nitrates, which can dilate blood vessels in the body. And there are other substances that strongly affect the circulatory system. That too can trigger an attack. 3. Now things get interesting, which will definitely surprise some people. Citrus fruits. Actually, citrus fruits like oranges, lemons, tangerines, or grapefruits are considered healthy. But they contain compounds that can affect our nervous system in a way similar to stress hormones. And in sensitive people, they can actually trigger headaches and migraines. A glass of orange juice. A glass of it can already be enough for some people. 4. You might be able to guess this. It's alcohol, and especially red wine. It contains a mixture, a very specific combination of substances that can dilate blood vessels, stimulate the nervous system, and also promote inflammation. And many people affected know this connection all too well. Just 1 glass of red wine is enough to trigger a headache. Now comes number 5. Unfortunately, chocolate along with caffeine is also included. Let's take a look at it now. There are several factors at play here. First, the sugar. It causes blood sugar levels to rise quickly. After that, they drop again. And it's exactly these fluctuations that can also worsen migraines. On the other hand, chocolate contains cocoa, and in it are substances that directly affect the nervous system and can change the excitability of nerve pathways. And that's why the rule is, if you love chocolate, it's better to choose dark chocolate with a high cocoa content. That's because it has less sugar. But only in small amounts. That way you can still enjoy it. But as I said, your blood sugar level stays stable, and because of the caffeine. That's also very important because cocoa is a caffeine-like substance that also affects the blood vessels and can therefore trigger headaches or migraine attacks. Why do these foods have such a strong effect in the first place? The key lies in the interaction between blood vessels, blood sugar, and neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are substances in your brain that control how nerves and nerve cells communicate with each other. Serotonin, for example, influences our mood and also our pain threshold. Histamine works. It can also increase inflammation. Dopamine and noradrenaline control tension and alertness. And when foods throw these neurotransmitters out of balance, it can act like a switch in the brain that triggers a migraine attack. And on top of that, there's also the effect on the muscles. Certain foods increase the basic tension in the body. And if your neck and shoulder muscles are already tense, which is often the case because we're always walking around so tense, just 1 more trigger from your diet can be enough to set off a migraine or headache. And that's why it's so important not only to pay attention to your diet, but also to regularly relax your muscles. For example, with our exercises, with our stretching exercises by Dr. Petra Bracht for the head and neck area, you can specifically relieve tension there 5 to 6 times a week. You should do them. And then food triggers have much less chance of causing an attack. And very important, not everyone reacts the same way. Some people tolerate all these foods without any problems, while others get a headache or migraine attack right away. And that depends a lot on your personal overall situation and your stress level, also on your hormone balance and your sleep quality. That's why my tip is, keep a food diary and just write down exactly what you ate and when the migraine occurred. And that way, you might easily identify your personal trigger and can take targeted action against it. So to summarize again, aged cheese, processed meat, citrus fruits, alcohol, and chocolate are typical or can be typical triggers for migraines. They work through changes in blood vessels, blood sugar fluctuations, and influence neurotransmitters. And in the end, it's your body that decides whether these foods actually trigger a migraine attack for you or not. And observe yourself, regularly relax your muscles, and take your diet as an important key into your own hands. Because migraines don't just start in your head, but often also on your plate. And if you know someone who often suffers from migraines, then send them this video. They will definitely thank you.